Today, we are talking about my college experience and why it's been very different from other college experiences, and also why this might be a unique experience for you to consider as well. So, we're going to get right into it, and today we're talking about my personal roadmap during my college years and what I'm doing instead of the vast majority of the friends I know who are just going straight for it, who are in college, who have already switched their majors because they're a year in, they discover they spent all this money and they didn't like it, and what to do about it, because that's a terrible idea. So let's get into it. All right, so the first thing that I'm doing is I'm really just taking these 4 years and I'm spending them, instead of college, I'm investing them into other places. So I'm learning things like long-term skills, learning and developing things that are going to set me up for success in the future. Now, when we look at college, there's only a couple things that you're actually going to be doing there. You're either going to be learning a trade, learning a skill, or learning a philosophy, okay? Trades would be things like HVAC repair or manual labor types of things that you're going to be doing. A skill would be something like science, right? So science, math, engineering, you could consider those a trades, but I would consider those maybe not necessarily more complex. I kind of put science in like its own bucket, okay? It just depends on the science because you're not doing like the manual labor or the electronics components to do that kind of stuff. So some sciences. And then you have philosophies where you're just learning about things, or you could even be learning like history. You know, if you're going for psychology, that's not something that's going to be as tangible as science, and science is probably not going to be as tangible as learning a trade. So those are the three things that you can actually learn in college. Now, of those three things, you can only learn select ones in college too. And I think the worst one that you could possibly learn in college is philosophies and intangible subjects. Because a lot of the stuff is problematic in their approach. They're looking at it completely from a physical standpoint and never from an unphysical standpoint. And what I mean by that is that, say I want to learn how to become a video editor, right? Or I want to learn how to become a director. You can learn all of those things, but you're not going to also learn the experience pieces. And if you're going to be like a solopreneur, like I am right now, then you have to learn a lot more than you would just in one singular class. And a lot of the trades, I have talked to so many entrepreneurs and pianists. My aunt is a classically trained pianist. I also follow another guy on YouTube, classically trained pianist, and both of them say that their piano degrees completely useless, does not matter for them. And the other people that are entrepreneurs that I've talked to in the business world, they went to business school for years. They've done all the business school, and they're all like, it sucks. It doesn't matter. No help. It did not help me at all. So I like, what are they even teaching these people, right? It's like, it's so crazy. It's weird. So I also have another friend though. They're just wrapping up their accounting degree. So they're going to go be able to be an accountant. So for her, that actually did work out. But for other people, it just doesn't. So that's the thing. And we need to really define what our definition of success is, because like I said, I'm learning long-term skills and learning developmental things that are going to set me up for future success, but we need to define that. So for my life, it looks like a thriving wife, family, and ministry, and work that I'm going to be able to support that family with, and just doing things for God that I think are going to be beneficial for the kingdom of heaven, that he and I have agreed on that this is my calling and this is what I want to do, right? So for me personally, I'm not going to go learn how to be a YouTube creator or learn how to be a podcaster or learn how to create membership sites or actually help people with their health in different ways in a college class or in a set of college classes or in a span of 4 years, because it just doesn't exist. They don't even want you learning some of that stuff. So for me, that's what success looks like. A thriving family and a thriving ministry and work to be able to support both of those. And all of those can wrap up together too. They're all kind of one thing. So why am I not doing this through college though? Well, the skill sets that I need and I'm working on and working in, like I said, literally aren't provided at colleges. You can't find those kinds of things. So I could probably go, I have a friend who's going to learn videography and he's going to learn a lot of the film style stuff. But that's not exactly where I'm trying to go with it. And they're not going to teach the philosophies behind what I'm trying to learn in those classes. So because they're not teaching the philosophies, I cannot learn the proper way to utilize even the same equipment that that guy's going to be using, because I'm not learning the same set of philosophies that then dictate how I end up using the equipment and the hard skills. So you have to look at the philosophies behind the classes before you can go and look at the hard skills. A lot of people just look at the hard skills. They say, oh, this sounds so interesting, I want to try this. And they go and do it. And it turns out they hate the skill or they hate the philosophy and it just doesn't work for them. And it's like, well, that was terrible. Why did I just waste all that money doing that? So if your definition of success is saw it through and down the path of college, then by all means go for it, because I know people who have done that successfully. They're older than I am, or they're the same age that I am, and they just know what they're doing, and they know what they were doing, and it's working for them because that's their calling and that's where they're going for it. But we don't just have to immediately do that, because the college era very much links up with the nuclear family era, and it's all the nuclear family era, and it's all post-World War II, okay? There was this golden age, and we kind of got ourselves wrapped up in, oh, well, you live the nuclear family life. You live the perfect life. You grow up in school systems, you go to college, then you get married, and you have a family, you know, wife, 2 kids, and a dog, and you work a day job all day long in a big building with a bunch of other people in suits, and then you come home to your homemaker wife, or maybe, you know, there's the feminist revolution and things, and she's trying to go get a job, but she's working at your wife is working at home as a homemaker, and that's the dream, and you're just doing that until you die, or your kids grow up and they get married and they just repeat the cycle. It's just rinse and repeat. It's terrible. That's not how it's supposed to be, because if you back up before that, families were generational, not nuclear. So we need to be living generationally, but that's a different topic for a different time. But now we need to be focusing on, what is it that I actually want to do? Do I know what I want to do? Do I not know what I want to do? I'm working on a membership to help people figure that out, help young guys find community and find their calling and be able to simplify and clarify all these crazy things that are going on that they're trying to figure out. Oh my gosh, I gotta get married. Oh my gosh, or maybe I want to get married, right? Oh my gosh, I want to get married. Oh my gosh, what is my calling? Oh my gosh, how do I actually be a masculine man? There's just so much overwhelming stuff. This entire world is polluted, and I, as a Christian, just have to wade through it all, and it's just disgusting. So that's what I'm working on right now. But I'm not learning how to do that inside of college. I made a post the other day that was like, yo, the stuff I'm learning right now, I made a post about this because I was planning to shoot this video. And I was like, the stuff that I'm learning right now, I'm on this class learning from this guy. He's teaching how to make memberships, right? I still had to pay for the class. I still have homework for the class. I still have to show up for the class, or else I'm not going to get the benefits of it. No, I'm not getting a grade. No, I'm not getting a diploma. No, I'm not having teachers run my every life move unless I'm off, and then I can just go do whatever I want. I have to have consistency, and I have to have self-dedication to do this. So for me, I'm not going to find that inside of the school systems. I'm not going to find that inside of college. And everything in these systems is so warped now as it is that it's just not even worth it, depending on what it is. Like, you could go, and like, science is just so messed up now. Science is a mess, and history is a mess, and all these things is a mess. Religion, politics, it's all messy. It's so messy, and it's just kind of gross. So we need to be focusing on, well, this obviously isn't where we're learning biblically anymore. So where are we going to be learning biblically, and how do we apply ourselves in those areas? If you're going to go to learn to be like an HVAC mechanic, that's cool and fine. You can actually make a lot of money in the HVAC system. I actually know that because of a connection I have. And that's something that I've considered doing too. So if I need to go do that, I can apprentice with him, I can go get those skill sets, and I can have a solid, stable income, because that's a hard skill, right? That's one of those down here, manual labor. It's not going anywhere, okay? HVAC, like I said, you wouldn't think you'd make that much money fixing people's air conditioning. You make a ton of money. It's so expensive. Our house, when we moved in, had really bad HVAC system, and the thing died upstairs in the summer like 2 or 3 years in a row, and we just had to like fix it. And that kind of stuff takes money to do, and these people are making money to do it. So those are the kinds of things where you can get those skills, and if that's your thing, that's awesome. But if it's not your thing, you might want to consider, okay, entrepreneur college is what I'm calling this, right? What is it in the same 4-year span that I am deciding and designating myself to learn, that I'm going to go and learn the skills so that by the time I come out in 4 years, I will not have student loans, I will not be in debt, I will not have a completely useless diploma and degree because it's just not working in the workforce anymore, but I will have a skill set, a bunch of soft skills that I will talk about in a later episode that are these long-term skill sets, and I will have the philosophies and the mentalities and the know-how to adequately steward the different things that I need to do, like working cameras. It's not the same philosophy as my filmmaking friend, but it is the same equipment. So things like that. Like, I'm learning these things so that I'm going to be ahead of the game in the same amount of time, because the amount of things that I'm learning and inputting are actually directional instead of wandering, because I don't know what I'm doing, or maybe I'm not as invested in it, or maybe the workforce doesn't have a need for that specific degree. You're not going to find a job with that degree, kid. Like, what are you doing right now? So that's kind of what I'm up to. That was a super fast-paced tour all the way through and super punchy, but that's what I'm up to. And if you want to learn more, then you can totally contact me. Subscribe to this podcast because I talk about this stuff a lot, and I've got that membership coming out. I even actually have a business idea and opportunity for you right now, and I will be linking it down below. You can just go check out makingmenacademy.lv, and it will be all right there for you. I can't wait to see you guys in the next episode.